I have to test out. Oh God, he's back. The puppy's back.
You do things you know will get the dogs riled up.
I don't do it to rile the dogs up.
Yes, you do.
I just rile dogs up.
Because you are a dog. You are a living man dog.
Oh, who's a cutie?
You're a cutie.
Thank you. Even though you lick your pee-pee very aggressively.
You do. You also lick faces aggressively.
Yep. You can't get on the desk.
He really wants your mouse.
Well, yeah, because it's a mouse and he's a dog.
Dogs don't care about mice. That's a cat.
Okay. It's coffee break! Woo!
Yeah!
So, in hindsight, hey,
Hey!
if you like this content, please subscribe,
You can leave a comment.
like it.
We're also on Anchor.
We're on Anchor. Both of our podcasts are on Anchor. So if you're on the go and you want to listen instead of having to watch YouTube, you can find us there.
It also works on Spotify as well.
Yep. Thank you.
Thanks.
From me earlier today, I was planning out because I want to do more garbage eggs.
Yeah.
And I want garbage eggs to be different than what coffee break is. So what I think coffee break should be is the two of us talking about the weekly events. Mm-hmm. That's the point of it being weekly.
Yeah.
Garbage eggs has always been like reviews.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually I want to get them into more like topics that we can talk about. Right?
Okay, yeah.
And I was like, well, that makes more sense. And then I was like, well, why didn't I do a garbage eggs for Halloween? And I was like, oh, you idiot. You made it your coffee break episode. You should have talked about
Whoops.
candy for one episode and actually just did the news on Halloween night.
Well, oops.
So that's my bad, but I realized it literally 1 week after, and I was like, So I hope you guys enjoyed that. We will actually start working on garbage eggs. There is a plan.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be fun.
Yeah.
I don't know how much often they'll be released, but I got a next one, and it's actually really fun.
I'm excited, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And January, this is going to be just worthwhile.
Yep, we're planning that far out in advance.
Actually, I got March.
Yeah?
Yep.
Wow.
So, we are working on those. And sorry for not telling too much of the news last week, but it was also Halloween night.
Yeah, and news is overrated.
I should have just planned that out and realized, oh yeah, I do have another podcast that I can use this as.
Well, now we know for next year. We're still learning. Woo. We can't keep saying that. We're 55 episodes in?
This is 56.
We can't keep being we don't know what we're doing. Yes, we do. It's been over a year.
Yeah, it's over a year and I'm still kind of learning this thing. Silly.
Mm-hmm.
So first off, what did we do last night? I know you're asking yourselves that because no one else did.
What did we do last night?
Well, we made fried rice.
We
but
did.
That's not the important part.
What's the important part?
We watched The Santa Claus.
Yeah. The classic. I'm sure you've all seen it. It's,
Tim Allen.
Yep.
Scott Calvin.
Falls off the roof. Santa falls off the roof.
Because he terrifies him.
He becomes new Santa. A weirdly intense plot about child custody and they think it's about child kidnapping too. That must have been a weird one to pitch.
Yeah, because I don't think it's a funny topic.
No.
But because it's a 90s film, things were different in the 90s. You could do things like that where he does steal his son Charlie and takes him to the North Pole and all that.
You know what I'm thinking of?
But you also, it's a Disney movie, so you see that he's not abusing his son. He's not doing anything horrible. The kid's literally living in the North Pole. He's fine.
But they don't know that. I was thinking about this yesterday, that there was a surprising amount of movies, especially in the 90s, where the plot was a parent, usually the dad, has to completely alter their appearance, either permanently or temporarily, in order to actually win the love. Figure out how to properly love their children.
So you're bringing up Mrs. Doubtfire.
There was another one I thought of too, but I can't remember what it was.
Okay, Mrs. Doubtfire.
Terrible.
What a horrific film.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know there are people who are like, oh, I love it. It's funny. Yes, it has its funny moments, but oh my god.
It's really...
It's actually horrifying. Think about it. If you have a stepdad, or can we hypothesize something out of this, right? And just say, what if you have a dad who gets estranged, and then all of a sudden you have a nanny that's actually your dad cross-dressing.
And it's not also horrifically, like, homophobic, transphobic.
Yeah.
Like, the whole, you know.
which is funny that it comes after movies like, what was it, Birdcage? Mm-hmm. That's a great one. If you've never seen that
also
one.
with Robin Williams.
Robin Williams is, yes, he's in there, and he plays with Nathan Lane.
I mean, like, what was the one? Tootie?
And Tootie...
That one was way before.
Tootie, which is probably one of the greatest films I've ever seen from that time, talking about being cross-gendered.
Yeah, I think gender fluid is how I would classify it by the end of the movie. Great. Also, my favorite performance.
Dustin Hoffman realizes that he can't get a role as a guy in New York, so he decides to dress up as a woman and pretend to play this girl, and actually wins giant awards. And then all of a sudden, she's being like almost hit on, and she's dealing with all the things that men do to women. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, he has to take off his outfit, and it's just like, what is fucking wrong with men?
Yeah, but by the end of the movie, I feel like he kind of changed a little bit.
Like, no, he learned his lessons.
So I think by the end, gender fluid is where the character would classify themselves.
Weird fun fact of that movie? Tootsie, do you remember who his roommate is?
No.
It's a young starving actor playing a young starving actor.
Who was it?
Bill Murray.
Was it really?
Yeah. It's so weird. This is Bill Murray before Ghostbusters.
Sorry, I'm digging things out of the dog's mouth because dogs are dumb.
Nice. So I watched The Santa Claus because...
Christmas classic. Halloween's over. We can now watch Christmas movies.
They're already playing Christmas music at the stores. That's fine. I didn't say it was okay. It was fine. We're going to have to deal with this, right? There's way too much Christmas. And The Santa Claus is a trilogy of films, and now Disney is going to make a television series called The Santa Clauses for Disney Plus, which will begin next week.
Will it have Tim Allen in it?
Yes.
I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know how his acting has, like, held up over the years. Also, we tried watching that,
Yeah, that one show where he's, like...
Awful.
It's like Home Improvement, but he's just grumpy.
Yeah, it's the crew from Home... It's like him and his co-star from Home Improvement, but it's about other people, and it was filmed during COVID, so it's all, like, over computers and stuff, and other people are building wacky machines. And they couldn't get the lady who played Heidi, so they just got a lady who kind of looks like young Heidi. And he's just, like, pissed off and mean the whole time.
Yeah. So what is the premise of the Santa Clauses? What is this new Disney horror film that we're family comedy that we're going to embrace?
Huh.
Here's the premise. Scott Calvin is on the brink of his 65th birthday and realizes he can't be Santa forever. He's starting to lose a step in his Santa duties. And more importantly, he's got a family who cannot benefit in a life in a normal world.
What?
Especially his two sons who grow up in the Lakeside, Illinois. Okay. Sorry, you guys suck. Like, honestly, no one wants to live in Illinois.
Illinois.
And grow up and one that grew up at the pole. With a lot of elves, children, and family to please, Scott sets out to find a suitable replacement for Santa while preparing his family for a new adventure in a life south of the pole.
I don't know, man. And like a lot of these like sequel stuff, it's like, I don't think we needed this. I don't want to see my beloved Scott Calvin character be this old bastard who it needs to find, like, his family's estranged, and like, that's not fun. That's not what I want to watch. Also, the third movie was bad, with Martin Short as Jack Frost.
Okay.
That one-
Martin Short is probably one of the worst actors I've ever fucking dealt with.
How can you say that? He's great in Only
One
Murders
show.
in the Building.
One motherfucking show.
He's not.
And you know what? He's not even good. He's kind of annoying.
That is part of the character. He is.
He's the
is
guy.
stuck
He's
with-
literally this guy. We found gold. Wow, is it really gold? And the third character goes, Eureka!
Yeah, he is that. He's the character who also constantly breaks the fourth wall. And it was charming, and it very quickly became not charming.
Selena Gomez and Martin Lawrence.
That is not his name. Steve Martin.
Can we get Martin Lawrence in there? Well, why is this not a thing? I want this.
I'm just amazed you got Steve Martin's name so wrong.
What are you trying to figure out? We're trying to figure out a murder. Yo, Fu, that knife got blood. Leave.
I've got blood leave. Wow, that would be fun. That'd be a great addition.
It would be better than me, but of course, like, I'm not good at those characters.
Long story short, yeah, that third movie was ass. It was so boring. It was so contrived. It was hokey, even by magical Christmas standards.
I'm not a big fan of Jack Frost.
Like the character?
Yeah, the folklore of Jack Frost.
I think it's a fine character, but
I think he's super rapey.
I don't... Why?
Just gives me off that vibe.
Did you ever watch Legends of the Guardians? Is that what that movie's called? Where they, like, yassified him? Make him like a twink boy band type of Jack Frost?
No, I refuse to watch that one.
It's not great. He has, like, the weirdest, deepest voice. Like, it's not, like bassy, but he looks like twee little boy, but he has like this like I'm old man, here I am, I'm this old man, I'm doing this voice for Jack Frost. And I was like, that's such a weird casting choice. The movie it was very full of itself.
A deep voice like Sandman?
Not that deep. But what about Sandman?
Oh. Probably the greatest Netflix series I've seen since The Haunting of Blythe.
Blythe.
Blythe is scary too. If you ever find yourself in Blythe, California, run.
There's a place called Blythe.
Dude, it's terrifying. Here's a little fun story. So you go from Arizona into California. Mm-hmm. There's a spot where the freeway goes through. On the Arizona side is this shithole town. What the hell is his name?
I'm not gonna know. I don't know the story.
I had it in my head and now it's gone. It starts with an M.
Martin Short.
It's Martin Short Town. Anyways, you blink, you miss it. I mean, it's gone. Mm. No, it's Quartzsite. That's what the place is called. It's called Quartzsite.
That's not a name of a man or an
totally,
M.
Yeah, I was totally wrong. Quartzsite. This place is literally just middle of nowhere. We need to get the fuck out of here. Uh-huh. Texas Chainsaw Massacre is about to become Arizona Chainsaw Massacre. So you get across the border, and then you're in Blythe.
Okay.
And we need to get out of here because if Texas Chainsaw Massacre isn't in Texas, it's going to be in California.
Well.
We went to a Denny's once when I was a kid. We stopped.
Was this the Denny's that had the arcade upstairs that you've told me about?
What?
No?
I've never told you of a Denny's with an arcade.
Well, I guess I'm getting your stories mixed up. You talk about visiting tiny little nothing towns a lot.
Oh, you're talking about Globe.
Yeah.
That was a weird place. That's a story for a different time. I don't even know what to tell you what I ate.
We've already gotten so sidetracked from the original point.
Okay, yeah, so Sandman
Yeah.
just got announced for season 2.
Woo! Hooray! I was really nervous about that one.
Neil
Gaiman?
Gaiman? Which, Coraline, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I did not know that was him.
Yeah. We talked about that the other day.
Yeah, I'm still not over it. Just because you guys are, I'm not. I'm like, that makes so much more sense why this thing is so terrifying. Mm-hmm. Anyways, he said, we're going to continue telling stories. We're going to take from different volumes. So I don't know if it's going to be as chronological as the comic.
I'm fine with that. Like,
And he's going to tell more stories of the Endless.
ooh. Is that what they're called?
Yeah, remember I was struggling to remember them and I
I-
called them Relentless?
Yeah.
I was actually really close.
You were sort of close. One of those is a band.
It's a good band.
Is
A
it?
good movie.
Yes. Yes.
And a good TV show.
Yes.
Yeah, no, they're called the Endless, and we're gonna be introduced to the other siblings.
Yay! I'm excited to see them.
So I was very excited for that. Netflix has found a way to come up and turn around.
They really did. Like, we all talked so much shit about them making, like, all these horrible decisions. And then a week later, they dropped, like, a bunch of the best shows. So I think they have it figured out. At least for the time being.
Did you see the tweet from Stranger Things today?
No. I haven't seen it, so I wouldn't really care.
I just saw it, and it was the title page of the script for the first episode of season 5.
Is this the last season?
Supposedly.
Alright. Because I thought the
I'm
fourth
sure.
season.
I know Netflix, and trust me, I know Netflix.
And once it's done, then we'll watch it.
They will make an animated spin-off movie.
Something.
They'll do something dumb, then they'll figure out a way to make a spin-off
Like
show.
a prequel or something.
And then they'll be like, hey, while we're doing this, we're going to make a sequel spin-off show. And you're going to be like, how is that a sequel if it's a spin-off?
And that's gonna be when everyone's gonna be like, I'm done. I'm done.
Yeah, and whatever.
Did you hear about, like, did you see the books? Because, like, books came out, like, they, like, to tell the story, like, just of the show, but now it's in a book format, you know?
Okay.
And it came out, and they did, because it takes place in the 80s, so the style of the book was intentionally designed and printed to make it look old. Like, the cover looks, like, worn, and, like, there's crease marks in it and stuff. The pages have, like, they dyed it to be, like, you know, that yellow color of books that sit on the shelves for a long time. Mm-hmm. Very clever. Very smart. And they had to put these, like, giant dumb stickers everywhere. Because people kept complaining that their books were being damaged. It's like, no, it's supposed to look this way, guys. Duh. You can put your hand on the crease and see that it's not a real crease. It's just a print.
We have talked about having access to, in college, having access to the original pitch idea in the pitch book, where it's called Tomahawk. And if you look at the cover of it, it has that same exact old-timey comic feel.
Yeah.
Like it's been sitting around in a kind of like damp and moist garage before somebody found it. That was just an aesthetic.
Yeah, but that's
so for people to be bitching about it, it's like, you're not a real fan, are you?
I don't think you guys get it. So, like, the only time they try to do something a little bit creative and people get all up in arms about it.
Well, I hope it's good. I don't know when that's coming. Don't care.
What other news is there?
The Watcher, which is a TV show.
Isn't it also on Netflix?
It's Netflix. I'm talking about Netflix.
Yeah.
Netflix's Watcher show is about a house. You can look up this house. I've heard this story 1,000 times.
Yeah,
I knew this story. I'm baffled that so many people are just so fascinated by it.
Personally, I think it's fake. I think the family faked it for notoriety and fame and whatnot.
That is a leading theory.
Like, because it's like, this family, to very briefly discuss the concept, this family moves into a house, and suddenly they get, like, letters in their mailbox, and it's like, we are watching you, and then it gets, like, progressively creepier and creepier, but no one ever does anything about it. And I'm like, that just sounds really fake. That sounds really easy to fake, also.
And the FBI investigated it, and what the FBI concluded was that it's most likely some freak in the neighborhood who just kind of gets off on sending these letters, but doesn't actually do anything.
Yeah.
In fact, nothing ever happens to the family.
Yeah, that's the... I'm sure in the show things will happen. I bet there's like a big old cult twist, because people love cults as the villains.
So, yeah, I keep hearing these recommendations, like, you gotta watch this. And I'm like, I knew this story 10 years ago.
Yeah, even I knew this story.
Wasn't that good.
No.
And there's no way you're being entertained by it by now.
Mm-hmm. It's like when you're trying to watch like a ghost hunting show, but you're also 100% sure that all the ghost stuff that is reported from this place is all completely fake.
Okay, well, you need to stop attacking Zach Bagans.
Listen, Ghost Adventures are ass nowadays.
Very boring.
Boreville, Snorefest, despite being 4 ass grown men running around screaming at each other constantly.
Oh, since we're talking about Ghost Adventures,
Yeah, the vastly superior show,
far vastly superior.
Destination Fear.
I watch a lot of these paranormal shows. I say this all the time whenever this gets brought up. I cannot stop recommending this. Mm-hmm. It is Destination Fear. It will knock your socks off. It is crazy scary.
I can't believe they fake any of it. Like, even, like, we watched an episode.
If they fake it, they are the greatest actors. I don't care if Will Smith slaps you in the face. This is good acting.
But, like, also, I can't believe they are, because we do see when they're acting. When they read their packet, they're clearly acting.
Yeah.
And when they, like, go to, like, the destination sites in the very beginning of the episodes to show you where to travel to, because that's why it's on the Travel Channel. When they're doing that part, that's also very clearly they're acting and stuff.
I think one of the craziest parts, and I think I brought this up a few times, is one of the co-cameramen, Alex?
Alex, yes.
Yes. The
only
tall, bald one?
Tanner.
Right? Tanner. God, see? I screwed that up. Sorry. But he's always telling you, he's like, yeah, I'm the man of the group, I'm going to protect him. Whatever. But when something goes awry, I mean, this guy, you can feel it through the television. Mm-hmm. Even years later, you're like, this guy really wants to actually fight this thing.
Like, he went into, like, that...
And he's getting scared. That's what's really happening.
And the thing is, it's the distinct difference. There's Tanner, who is going into basically, like, defense mode. Like,
and his defense mode is to fight.
The most physically active of the group. He's the biggest. And he, like, will, like, get in. And it's like when your dad gets mad out of, like, love.
Yeah.
When you see, you know, the Ghost Adventures guys shouting and screaming, it's very clearly, like, little Timmy's on the stage, and he really wants his mommy to be impressed as she films his first ever monologue.
Back to Netflix.
Yeah.
Also, Dahmer, the new Jeffrey Dahmer show with Quicksilver.
I don't remember his name.
Peter
I was
Evans.
Also gonna call him Quicksilver. My next thing was he was in Godzilla, where suddenly Scarlet Witch was now his wife, and that was a weird casting choice.
That was before Age of Ultron.
But those were like back to back. It was like a year apart.
Also, Godzilla. Hey guys, let's talk about Godzilla.
It's gonna be their anniversary soon.
No, they already passed it.
And hooray!
68 years of Godzilla. They released a official poster of them where you can see them all except for the 1998 Matthew Broderick film, which that one's called Zilla. That's why I did not buy it, because I was like, fuck you.
I can't
She deserves to be in here.
I thought she was cool. I liked how she had like actually, like, kind of, like rap, like land, kill me. Jurassic Park-esque dinosaur feet. I liked that she had like raptor feet.
I like this
raptor
idea.
Was the word I couldn't remember.
I like this idea of talking about dinosaur films. Like, We're Back.
I was not expecting, of all films, to be We're Back.
I used to watch that as a kid.
That was a great one.
I love dinosaurs.
Fun little fun soundtrack.
Anyways, they're all on there.
Dahmer and Watcher, they're breaking numbers and stuff.
Yes, they're breaking numbers. Netflix is doing great.
Oh, you were talking about Godzilla. This year isn't as much fun as next year.
Yes, because Godzilla is coming back
Oh,
twice as hard.
I was gonna say, because next year is their 69th anniversary. Yay!
Hardy har har.
Nice.
Why?
What do you mean, why?
Why?
If you don't go all out for it, then it's not as funny. You know?
Next year, we're supposed to get a Godzilla vs. Kong sequel.
Yeah.
And from Apple Plus, we'll get a Godzilla, like, MonsterVerse show.
Fuck yeah. Apple Plus has the good ones. So far.
They just take forever to make.
Yeah. Good stuff takes a while, though. So, you know.
Okay, so what did James Cameron say?
Okay, so yeah, this is my contribution.
In context, James Cameron, the director of many great films and shitty films.
Yes.
Like Terminator.
Like Avatar.
And Avatar.
The one with the blue people.
And so we're gearing up for Avatar 2's release, The Way of Wawa.
So he's heard the resounding, "We don't want this," from people. Everyone being like, "This is dumb," and 10 years too late. And so now he's suddenly saying, well, if it doesn't do good, then it'll only be 3 films. I'll end it after the 3rd one. And then he ends it off with so do you guys give a shit now? And everyone's like, no. We're not gonna go see the movie to get those 5 films you said you were gonna do.
So I found that Avatar 3 might be the last one.
Yeah.
Which, oh my god, guys, please help us end this stupid nonsense. No one wants this.
No. Don't
No
go
one
to
wants it.
theaters to see it, because you know what you'll get. It'll be fucking 4.5 hours long.
Watch is like as good as T2.
James Cameron's pretentious. We were talking about this yesterday, I think, about how he thinks his fantasy world is so clever, but it really isn't. It was specifically, we were talking about how they have the hair sex, and that was a weird thing for him to include into his fantasy world. And even though they do the sex things with their hair, they still wear, like, bikinis and pants to cover up the genital parts a human would have, but they don't, that's not their genitals, though. So it makes no sense for them to cover up those parts if the hair is the sex part, you know?
And I made a few arguments for him. I don't think he thought this far.
No.
And if he did, it would be subconscious. I just don't think he's that intelligent.
I think, yeah, very full of himself.
But one thing is, I always kind of figured their hair sex was because they have an antenna, which is their reproductive organ, in the back of their head, and they use the hair to keep it warm. If we actually sit down and think about our own genitalia as humans, we also grow hair around them.
Yeah, but why would, like, imagine, like, okay, do you remember the Scary movies?
I remember all of them.
There was one, I don't remember which number it was. Charlie Sheen was in it.
That's number 3.
There was
or 4.
There was aliens, and they were worried about the aliens, and they're standing there at the end of the movie, and one alien is, like, putting his, like, finger into Charlie Sheen's mouth as they're talking, and they're like, oh, don't worry about us. We use our fingers to like, our fingers are our genitals, and we also pee out of them, and then, you know, that's the gag. And I'm like, so yeah, if we met an alien species that had sex through their fingers, why would they be covering up their tits and vaginas, you know?
I would... Oh, so... God, really? We're gonna do this now. Okay.
To them, those aren't sexy parts, so they're not worth covering up.
If we are to actually take this serious, right?
Yeah.
And then we're gonna talk about the placement of genitalia on the animalistic body, right? Mm-hmm. Most of us animals here on this planet, because we don't know alien species, we haven't explored them yet. Yeah. Hopefully soon we will. But a lot of us, like humans, we carry them beneath and we protect them.
But they don't. The Na'vi don't, though. So
and that might be like, oh, hey, they're kind of exotic, but there also might be the fact that honestly, James Cameron just being a fucking asshole.
Lazy.
Like he is.
Yeah.
Like, hey, what if they don't know that because they're primitive?
I guess.
Because
it's just.
have you seen illustrations of the white colonists coming to the North Americas and seeing the Native Americans?
Yeah, I've seen the pictures and stuff. I'm just thinking.
Not all Native Americans wore undergarments.
What
And in fact, that was a later thing adapted to.
I think you're missing my point. I'm not talking about. Like, imagine if all humans wore gloves all the time, covering up our hands entirely. But we don't have sex with our hands. That alien species does.
Then they would cover their hands.
But we're doing it. That's what the Na'vi are doing. They're covering up their tits and vaginas and their dicks. But they don't have sex with those parts.
And then, so here's my other argument. How do you nurture a child? Right? So we can kind of maybe suggest that females have breasts to feed their young, right? Okay, fine. But now, here's the question. If you got dicks for heads, why do you need to wear an undergarment?
That's what I'm saying!
And then, I don't know. And then once I hit that point in our conversation, I was like, I don't know.
There we go.
And my ultimate argument was people relate more to characters who look humanoid.
And I feel like...
Look at Toy Story.
Yeah, and I feel like James could have just had them fuck normally. Mr. Cameron.
Yeah. That was it.
These last 10 minutes is more thought than anyone else has, including James Cameron himself, than
put
anyone
into
else
that
has
fucking
ever
film.
put in. Yeah.
Also, I just wanted to point out another thing.
Huh.
Tears of the Kingdom, Legend of Zelda.
Yeah.
It's just Pandora.
Yes. I'm sorry. Floating Islands is just gonna be Pandora.
Great. Now I gotta climb up this wannabe fucking mountain that's not there.
It's like, oh yeah, our giant character, they have like these gray markings on them. No, it's not Kratos. We promise, it's not Kratos. It's different. It's unique.
Who do you think would win, Link or Kratos?
That's a good question. Link is pretty good at toppling bigger enemies. But Kratos has that resilience.
Kratos is brutal.
Here's the thing. I think if it came down to it, I think Kratos could kill Link, but I think Link would run away. I think he'd be too sneaky.
I think Kratos would just take his fucking head and end the game.
Just a couple of bombs and then just a little boy run in with his stamina meter. Kratos is like, it's not worth it.
And Mimir on the back of Kratos. Just wait for him, laddie. He'll just slow himself down.
Now's your chance! Kratos running
Just blades of chaos sweeping the ground with lava popping out, just chopping the head off this little fucking wannabe elf boy.
The only thing is, how many times does he have Daruk's protection, and how many fucking fairies does he have in his pocket?
I stabbed him to the heart. Well, he just keeps a lot of fairies on him. Why don't we have fairies?
It's like, what? It comes out this Wednesday?
Yeah, this Wednesday.
Yeah.
Just in time for a special moon. I think it's the harvest moon.
I think so. It's the one where it's like reddish,
Yep.
orangish.
Which this time last year was Halloween time.
Yeah.
Before Halloween. And Ghost dropped their new single, Hunter's Moon. So I just want to say, shout out to Hunter's Moon.
Woo! It's a good one. It's a good one. What other news is there?
I just wanted to soak in that moment. It's just like how much I love that album.
It's really good. I was listening to it again this week.
Yeah?
Yeah?
Yeah? Does it change?
No, I still like it. It's all still liked.
All killers, no fillers, man. And
What-
the fillers are still killers.
What's the news? We're already 30 minutes in, and we spent like 20 minutes talking about the sex of the Na'vi.
You know that's what they came here for.
This is it. This is the podcast you wanted.
So Warner Brothers Discovery is apparently right now done with the Fantastic Beasts series.
Good. Fucking finally. These films are trash.
Worst news.
What do you mean worse news?
They are planning to do what they said. The president, I'm not even gonna pretend to say his name. The president of WBD said, "We haven't done a Harry Potter film in 15 years. We are working closely with J.K. Rowling
No.
to bring a new one."
She is such a schmuck. What a fucking piece of shit person.
So it only leads further into perhaps we're going to get The Cursed Child, which I doubt.
I don't want more Harry. This is the thing. I don't want more Harry Potter. Harry Potter was huge. Harry Potter is a perfect example of it was huge. It was massive. And then it was done. And then they picked up this dead corpse and continue to puppet it around, begging you for your money. And people lean into the shit. I don't care. I don't care what Harry Potter house you are. It's over.
I think they're going to try and reboot it. I'm a little curious.
A reboot is the only thing I'd be interested in. Because I think it could be cool. And I would like an animated series.
I think a rebooted animated series would be better.
Yeah, because we did live action. Why do it again? Live action. You know? Just to do the things that we are all in love with, but different and potentially worse. Because it'll never live up to our nostalgia. Just animate it so you can go crazy with the magic and shit.
You know what I was just thinking of? Daniel Radcliffe.
Yeah.
Harry Potter. Oh no. Frodo Baggins.
Elijah Wood?
Elijah Wood.
Yeah.
They, at the same time, were playing these big major characters. Mm-hmm. And then later on in their careers, they just go off on crazy spectrums.
They did both go in real weird directions.
But they're also still fun actors.
They are. I've actually always wanted a movie or something with them together. Because I think they have lovely, charming energy that would bounce off each other really well.
That would be a very interesting thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Watching those two deal with each other.
I think it'd be fun. They're both funny too.
Can't remember if I said this before, but House of Dragon Season 2 will not debut until 2024.
Yeah, which makes sense with something of this scope.
Yep, and they wanted to be more grandiose, which means bigger, which means more effort into it.
Nice.
Severance Season 2.
I'm excited. Oh my god, Severance is so good.
Critter loves Severance.
It was so good. It's worth getting the Apple Plus thing just for Severance.
And Ted Lasso.
Yes. Which will get its third season soon? Next year?
Soon.
Next year?
They're working on it. Warner Brothers Discovery. I really wish you guys did something better with this name.
Yeah.
Anyways, they're working on something. They're going to change up some things. And they're also having some issues that we reported on a couple weeks ago with the actors of Ted Lasso. Mm-hmm. And they're like, hey, you pick up another job, we're not okay with that.
Yeah.
Which is funny because that is not even part of their contract.
I don't know. I'm worried about Ted Lasso.
Disney Plus's Percy Jackson remake picked up a new actor.
Mm-hmm.
Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Yep. Good old Hamilton himself.
I personally don't like Hamilton. I think it's one of the dumbest plays ever made.
I've said it before. It's very full of itself.
I think it got like way too popular.
That was definitely the thing. I think it was definitely good and deserved praise, but then people did that thing where they don't become fans, they become fanatics.
Yeah.
And then it becomes rather annoying at that point.
But his music for
Encanto
was phenomenal.
100. Is there gonna be music in Percy Jackson?
I don't think so.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't.
Also, Hermes, the character he's playing, is the messenger of the gods.
Yeah.
He doesn't have music. Well, he has that harp.
I guess.
Oh, I don't want to deal with
Oh,
this.
he's gonna rap if he does. Imagine Hermes running up
Oh.
and then he strums his harp and then he starts doing a rap and whatever.
And he's dancing like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle
I'll be honest, I don't.
at a Vanilla Ice concert.
I
Go
don't-
Ninja, go Ninja, go.
go.
Sue me.
I don't know anything about his actual acting. Like I didn't watch Hamilton. I don't know how good of an actor he is.
I tried to watch it. I turned it off. I was just like, I'm done with this.
Okay, it's very full of yourself. Yeah, very full of itself.
So, moving on. Final Fantasy 16
Yeah.
is
Okay.
95% complete,
Fuck
and
yes.
a trailer leaked in Japan
Ooh.
where they made it very clear in the trailer that for the first 6 months, starting this next summer, 2023 of summer, no one else gets it. You have to have a PS5 or you're not part of the club.
Nice.
Guess who has 2 thumbs and is part of that club?
Us.
Me.
I want to fucking see it. I want to sit next to you and watch this. I'm excited.
After 15, I'm just so excited. This is mine. I want it. I love God of War. I love the story of Kratos. I know where this is going. I've seen a lot of spoilers. I also knew when they announced it, I was like, oh, this is the end.
Uh-huh. 6. Go for it.
Which is kind of sad because I do love Kratos. Kratos is a part of my childhood and my adulthood now. And now that he's a dad, it will bring tears, and I just don't want to embark on that journey.
I understand. I get it. Like, I don't enjoy things. I don't enjoy watching things that make me sad all the time, you know?
But eventually I will get to it, and I will have to deal with the consequences.
But 16. Ooh.
Final Fantasy 16. Now, Final Fantasy 15, which is a totally different story.
Oh,
The story of Noctis.
and his little group of boys. It is really the game. And it's honestly amazing how honest this is. You have to get through like 60 hours worth of gameplay, and then it gets really, really good.
And for me, when I hit the ending, I cried.
I did too. I still cry when I think about
when
it.
they show you the title and it changes,
I,
it hurts you so much even harder.
I cried like 4 times in a row.
And then you gotta listen to Florence and the Machine, which I already love.
And they do. Oh!
And they play a great song, Stand By Me.
Oh, God. Oh, man. It's really, 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 really good. Everyone should play 15. It's hard to get into it. I understand.
Look, it's just Game of the Year for a reason, okay? So suck it up. But I never cared about Final Fantasy. I always wanted to kind of get into it. 15 was where it was at.
It's a good diving in point, I'd say. Because I'm the same way. I don't know anything. I knew a little bit more than you. Like, I knew what Cactar was. I've seen a Moblin before.
Yep.
I know of some characters, like Vivi, and most of them from 9, because 9 is Allison's favorite.
Andor Season 2 has begun filming.
Yawn.
Calm down. Calm down. All 2 of you, calm down. I cannot finish Andor. I will come back around to it.
It's so boring. It's so boring. Oh my god.
I want way more action. Whatever. They're filming season
Not
2.
even just like a single compelling character. A single character for me to get invested in, please. Any of them. That's like Obi-Wan gave me Leia right off the bat. You know?
And it wasn't just Leia.
Well, you know, that's the one I really
And if you're curious
cared
about
about.
this conversation of Obi-Wan and Leia,
Mm-hmm.
there's garbage eggs.
Yeah. We did do that, didn't we? No, yeah, Obi-Wan gave me Leia. Mandalorian gave me, Grogu. The ones that don't give me, just give me a little child character for someone to be the parent of, and then I guess you're golden. Well, that's why Andor and, fucking, who's that loser that everyone loved? Boba Fett. Those ones just bored me.
I like Boba Fett. But you have to like The Mandalorian to like Boba Fett.
I don't know, I liked The Mandalorian, and I thought Boba Fett was stupid.
But it gives you context.
Yes.
They have also begun doing The Acolyte.
What's that?
Now, The Acolyte is another Star Wars show.
I worry they're drowning themselves.
This one's cool.
What is it?
This one has
Oh.
actual potential.
I do know which one you're talking about.
This is a prequel long before episode 1.
Yeah.
This is going to be a murder mystery.
Ooh, I'm sold already.
And they've also begun filming,
I love mysteries. I want to
or
watch.
at least putting costumes on people.
I want to watch Glass Onion because I like mysteries.
You know, I was reading a lot about Glass Onion, and those who saw it were like, this one's even better than the first one.
Damn, the first one was really good. I'm excited.
I thought the first one was okay.
It's a good old classic mystery.
It,
Maybe
honestly,
a bit predictable.
That I can agree with. Yeah, it's just pound for pound. It is. Who writes all those French films? The Murder on the Mystery
Oh,
Train.
fuck. I don't know.
Murder on the Nile. She wrote that one.
Did she?
Yeah.
I don't know. I do not know.
It's very much that same style. It's
Lovely little, like, just episodic murder mysteries.
Yeah, yeah.
Right up my alley.
I don't know why it's all just leaving me right now.
A little Sherlock Holmesy, if you get the
Honestly,
right version of Sherlock Holmes.
it's Shakespearean.
A bit, yes.
And I like that story. I like that way of telling story. I'm actually a fan of Shakespeare. I should probably read a lot more of him.
I'm not a fan of Shakespeare. I appreciate the structure he laid for better people to build off of.
Don't think that was his intention.
But I'm not a fan of his works. I think he's a bit boring.
Okay, so we're gonna get into the juicy, meaty comic book stuff.
Oh boy.
All that stuff.
I want you to hit me. I want you to hit me.
Not yet.
Oh man, we should rewatch that one.
I said, what a lovely trilogy today.
Yeah, it is. It's a really good trilogy.
Well, we were talking about Bollywood films, and apparently the Batman qualifies as a Bollywood film. How? I don't know.
Was parts of it filmed? No. Was it a production cut?
They could have, had some sort of investment. Which I was like, that's weird, because I don't remember them finishing off with a dance.
Like Slumdog Millionaire?
And I brought Slumdog Millionaire, which no one had saw. And
Damn.
anyways, the MCU. We're going to start off with the MCU.
Woo.
Black Panther 2. This is a different script. Ryan Coogler wrote the first one and directed the first one. He wrote the second one and directed the second one.
Okay.
He wrote a different script that had to do with T'Challa
Okay.
dealing with the events of Endgame.
Okay. And
But-
that was supposed to be what it was about?
But because of the passing of Chadwick,
Yeah.
that he had to switch it up. Now, Marvel is saying, according to Kevin,
Okay.
good old Kevin Feige, this is the most important story they've ever told.
Which one? The one that
Black Panther 2.
the movie itself?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which,
Didn't he say that about like one of the others that just came out?
I feel like he did.
I feel like he says that every time. So to
But I was
trick you
also
into watching like Miss Marvel, and then you go, oh yeah, this one's really, really important. And it's like, oh, because we introduced like one character who'll say one line that hints towards something that'll happen 3 years from now.
I don't know too much about the Marvel Universe that actually say anything too, like, concrete.
Yeah.
But Wakanda, I know for a fact, is in the middle of a jungle in Africa.
Yeah.
And Atlantis is in the middle of an ocean in Atlantis.
Yeah.
The Atlantic Ocean, right? But they switched that up, and they took away the Atlantic part
Okay.
and put it into the Pacific next to South America.
All right.
And so these characters like Namor will have a Mesoamerican influence.
Neat.
Okay, Aztec.
I'm all for it. Neato.
So if we have land and water battling each other and they're across the entire fucking continent, like the world itself. If you look at a map, just pull up a map and look at it
Uh-huh.
and go, here's where Marvel's saying Atlantis is, and here's where Marvel's saying Wakanda is.
Yeah.
How is this, like,
I don't-
you're gonna put an environmental message in here, which, fine.
Sure.
I'm fine with that. That is a big thing to be talking about. But also, two separate motherfucking continents.
Yeah, like I feel like maybe there's
Even if Atlantis went the other way
yeah.
and headed towards Asia,
It really is like equidistant.
they would have to go all the way around China and India to even get to fucking Africa.
True. I don't know. MCU and Star Wars, I feel like, are just drowning their audience. I think there is something to be said of overwhelming people. And, I look at the Star Wars stuff, like, on that. It's like, oh, there's so many shows to watch. Oh, my God. And then Marvel, it's like, here, there's so many shows. And then also these movies. And this one's important because this one introduces this. And this one's important because it introduces that. And I think it's too much. And I think this might be the beginning of the end for them.
Yeah.
I'd say.
Well, I would have to say it's the beginning of the end because you're talking about something that's, like, it's so overwhelming. Mm-hmm. And you're like, how do I keep track of everything?
Like,
So they... Go ahead.
I was going to say, imagine if you're, like, 10 years old. And you're like, oh, I want to watch this movie. Do you have to sit down and watch all fucking 27 movies beforehand? All, like, hours upon hours of their TV shows? Where does someone start with this stuff?
Yeah.
It's very inaccessible to new watchers.
And that was one of my biggest problems with Marvel is once I gave up shonen, because I didn't read American comics, I read Japanese manga, right? Mm-hmm. When I went into the transition of going to American comics, the reason why I chose DC over Marvel was because DC just had a rebirth. Mm-hmm. But it wasn't that, it was the New 52, right? And so it was easier for me to just jump in and be like, okay, I got a basic idea. Teach me. Mm-hmm. And they're like, here, let's show you the ropes. Marvel, on the other hand, was just like, I don't give a fuck.
No.
And they never gave a fuck.
No, God, no.
And they still don't give a fuck. Because, you know what I wanted out of WandaVision? A whole new show about the bad guy who we killed off. Right? Agatha Harkness.
I don't, honestly. As much as I liked that character.
I was being sarcastic.
Yeah, I know.
And you know what else I really wanted? Another spinoff about White Vision.
That's always the thing. It's just
let's announce a whole new show.
Vision Quest sounds like...
Vision Quest.
That sounds like an internet provider.
It sounds like Meta made this show.
It does.
Meta being Facebook.
That's a terrible... It's just... That's the thing. It's like nothing can ever...
Sounds like Zuckerberg was sucking his berg and he decided this name.
Nothing is ever itself. Like, oh, this show... Here's the spin-off of the bad guy and the spin-off of the second beloved character, and then they get their shows, and then they get spin-offs, and then nothing, not everything needs a spin-off.
You know what the natural conclusion and sequel to WandaVision is?
What?
Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
I wouldn't know. I haven't seen it yet still.
No, it actually is a conclusion to it.
I believe you. But
It's all in there. You don't need Vision. Vision is pointless.
He is. He died. Leave him be.
Yeah, it's literally about Wanda being upset and losing her kids and going, I don't know what else to do without them, so I'm going to make the multiverse so I can get to my children.
It's like when I watched one episode of Bleach.
And Doctor Strange tries to stop her.
Yeah, I watched one episode of Bleach one time, and it was like in the middle of season 4 or something. I don't know. I was just like, what is this show? I want to see what everyone talks about. So fucking confused. 1 million characters, 5 different plot threads going off at the same time. And all this, they're saying things and names and I don't get it. I can only imagine that's how people feel now. If someone who doesn't know any better just wanders into Black Panther 2 or watches an episode of Vision Quest, they're gonna be like, what is all of this? There's so many little, like, like, you gotta know what the difference between the snap and the blip. You gotta know the names of the different gemstones. There's, like, 700,000 fucking characters. And, yeah, you can remember Thor's name. But can you remember this, like, detective who helped Thor in, like, one spin-off fucking web comic somewhere?
Well, today I went to the store to pick up dinner, right?
Yeah.
And there was this little tiny guy. This little tiny boy. Little toddler, right? He's walking on his own. He's just excited to be there with his mom.
Nice. Cute.
And he's wearing this long sleeve shirt, which has the Avengers on it.
Nice. Cute.
And there are pictures of them, and they're, like, doing their cool tricks and stuff. And he's got his pants on, because it's cold out, and his shoes. And I'm looking at his shoes, and it's just Iron Man putting his hand up, because he's about to shoot out his blast.
Cute.
And I was just like, so Marvel and Disney have control over these children. But then you make dumb fucking decisions with all this. How is this kid, this little boy,
Yeah.
going to comprehend? Because I'm looking at his shirt, and I'm like, yeah, you got the original 6 on there for whatever the new Avengers are. And then you got Iron Man. So you're obviously an Iron Man fan. And you think Tony is cool. That's fine. We're not going to talk about the darkness of Iron Man.
It gets, like, the movie starts
His
with a man.
alcoholism.
He gets tortured in a cave.
There's a lot of dark stuff about him.
Yeah.
But we're not going to talk about this. And then try to show that kid that film, you know, Endgame. Hey, buddy. Sorry. Your guy didn't fucking make it.
Like, I don't know. I feel like it's just too much with Marvel. Like, I don't know.
Could you imagine that conversation?
No. And honestly, I guarantee you, and you say it's like a toddler, right?
Yeah.
Toddler didn't want those. He didn't give a fuck. Mom and dad. And that's another thing. Like I was saying with Harry Potter, the parents are obsessed with these things. And then they just, like, force their obsession onto their children and expect them to love the things they love too. Even though the mom and dad has, like, years and years and years of being with these things.
Oh, my kids are going to be 100% comic book nerds.
We can't decide that. Anything can happen.
Nope.
They could really hate Harry Potter for all we know.
I don't care. You're not going to church. Hang out with me.
They're also doing Iron Wars.
So, Iron Wars, what was supposed to be a spin-off show, a Marvel show for Disney Plus, has become a movie. We knew this. They released some pictures.
Yeah.
A little interesting.
Yeah. A couple
So
of characters
the main character is Rhodey.
Yeah. Woo!
And behind him is kind of like this faded shot of Iron Man, which Robert Downey Jr. will come back. This is a rumor, but remember, I usually call this stuff out a little bit
Also,
ahead.
people fucking, harassed all 3 of the Spider-Men trying to be like, are you gonna be in the new movie? So yeah, they're gonna do this with fucking, Robert Downey Jr. too.
Well, I'm excited for him to show up as an AI version of himself.
Yeah, like a Force Ghost.
Pretty much. Ironheart will be in
jokes I'm making. Yeah.
there. Whiplash, which...
Interesting choice.
Who is Whiplash? I know. You're dying. Let Rambo tell you. Calm down.
Which one's Whiplash?
It's Mickey Rourke from Iron Man 2. You remember that guy who uses those whips and cuts Iron Man's car in half? You remember that?
Yeah. He
That was cool
there
in-
for like 3 minutes.
2007.
You all remember? It's like when I was like, and in She-Hulk, she's gonna handle the Abomination. And I'm like,
What
Who?
about my parrot? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Just, what about my parrot?
Yeah.
Like, just shitty accent. Just like...
really good. Great
God.
stuff. 10 out of 10.
But honestly, the way I feel about Russia right now. And then the bad guy for this movie is going to be Doctor Doom.
Yeah, that one's gonna be weird.
And here's the craziest part. Doctor Doom... Wait, how does Doctor Doom fit into all this? At some point in the comics, because Marvel just doesn't care. They just mix, blend, and do whatever they do. he makes himself an iron suit.
Okay. I guess.
So this is how we get Doctor Doom.
This is how we're gonna introduce like the Fantastic Four. Is this what this is gonna be?
I did not say that.
Oh, I don't. And I really like War Machine. I love Rhodey. Don Cheadle is a charming, lovely person. And I'm just like, I don't know, man. It just feels like a chore every time.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, Thor Love and Thunder, rewatch it. It was great. I loved it. But also, just fucking a chore. Alright, here we go. Watch this Marvel. Gotta remember all these names and faces.
Yeah, but Love and Thunder was very, like, baseline.
And then I hate afterwards, where it's like the 900 videos on YouTube being like, here's the 7 billion references you didn't catch. It's like, tired. I'm tired. It's like homework. I graduated. I want to be done.
So Loki season 2 has begun production. I don't know if they're filming either, but there was an image leaked. This image was interesting to me. It looks like it's Tom Hiddleston as Loki walking through a hallway of the TVA.
Okay.
Which he was working with and against in the first season.
Mm-hmm.
But now things have changed, and there's 3 sculptures. Remember those 3 sculptures of the heads that he had to go deal with?
Yeah.
But they're all just Kang,
Makes sense.
and they're modeled off of
Jonathan Majors.
Jonathan Majors.
When does this one come out? Because...
I think spring next year.
Well, okay. We'll see.
So okay, let's get down to DC.
Woo!
Black Adam.
Yeah.
Number 3 once again. Still killing it in the box office.
Good for them.
They will have to deal with Marvel. Black Panther will show up.
Yeah, Black Panther's gonna blow them out of the water. We all know it. It'll be a whole thing.
I'm excited. I want to see how it does. I will wait for Black Panther.
I've heard middling reviews about Black Adam. Like, apparently it's like just 2 hours of just fight scene.
There was a secret ending with Dr. Fate, played by Pierce Brosnan.
Yeah. Woo!
Which I don't know if you guys have ever noticed, but I'm going to point this out.
Mm-hmm.
That Pierce Brosnan has been showing up in all our episodes.
He has.
I have been specifically pointing them out.
And I've been putting the tag of Pierce Brosnan in all of the tags.
Because he's the worst James Bond ever. And Roger Moore is actually better than him.
I don't remember him as James Bond. I'll be honest.
Another time to die.
I don't remember.
Another day to not die.
Probably not. I know him from...
Place where you won't die.
I know him from Mamma Mia.
Mamma Mia is fucking good, dude.
Is it?
Mamma Mia 2?
Yeah,
Also,
for
just
being-
outstanding.
For being someone who doesn't like ABBA, you like Mamma Mia a lot.
And?
I don't know, being an ABBA fan feels like a pretty big element towards liking these. Of course, I like ABBA, and I didn't like the movie.
I'm a Ghost fan.
Yes.
And they are inspired by ABBA.
So that's what it is? That's all it takes?
No, I just wanted to throw out that fun fact.
What were we saying? Black Adam.
Mamma Mia is good. Mamma Mia 2 is even better.
It's so not.
Dude, the lighting, the cinematography, the costume design, outstanding.
No.
It's crazy good. It's so good.
It's so cheap looking. They look like they're standing around on like a high school theater set.
And?
Cher's in it. I like Cher. She was wasted.
Yeah, see, now you're finding parts that you're like.
They didn't use her good. It's like I like Idina Menzel. That doesn't make Frozen better.
Dude, you just gotta let that go.
What's the news? What are we talking about?
So Black Adam has a special scene that we talked about with Superman.
Mm-hmm.
Henry Cavill,
Yes.
right? They filmed a different scene just for the producers to watch about Dr. Fate.
Okay.
They deleted that
Because of course they did.
and kept this secret one in about Superman.
All
So they
right.
snuck this one under the radar, okay?
Okay.
Now we know Henry Cavill has officially announced he's coming back as Superman.
Yep.
They're going to do a sequel. Henry Cavill is now contracted to do Man of Steel 2, which I swear to God, if it's not called Man of Tomorrow, I'm going to lose my shit.
That would be better than Man of Steels.
Okay, you can't do the Disney
What if they
bullshit.
called it Man of Iron?
Black Adam 2
Yeah.
and Justice League 2.
Isn't he gonna be in Shazam?
That was not part of his contract because I think those have to do with cameos.
Okay. Alright.
So he could just cameo in them. Like, just show up, hi,
Yeah,
and
like,
then leave.
like Chris Evans being in Thor Ragnarok. Or
Do you know why that happened?
Yeah, because he just happened to be on set doing something
It's not
else.
Ragnarok. It's the second one.
Yeah. Darkness of
Dark World.
Dimensions. Yeah.
Dark Worlds. And he just came on set to talk to some people.
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, since you're here, can we do this fun scene? And he was like, okay.
That's fine.
And that's when you see Loki pretend to be him.
Mm-hmm.
And it's actually him. And he's like, wow, these pants are really tight. And look at my
And
butt.
he says I could do this all day.
Yeah. And then they go through another pillar and he's gone.
Yeah. Fun stuff. Really cute. I miss him. I'll be honest.
I miss Cap too. He was my favorite.
What's next? What's going on?
Oh, so DC has decided to bring in 2 new CEOs, right? Mm-hmm. We talked about this. James Gunn and Peter Safran, I think is his name.
He's also done really big,
Yep,
cool stuff.
done a lot of work.
Yeah.
Also worked on the Conjuring verse.
Nice.
And the Conjuring. There's a whole series of films that are with it.
Fun fact, La Llorona is the worst horror movie ever. Is that in the Conjuring verse?
It is, but I don't think it's the worst one.
It's pretty bad.
But they're working together, and then James Gunn was talking about it, and he was like, after a weekend, this was this morning,
Okay.
3 a.m, and this is Monday, right? Where we're recording this morning, he was like, hey, we spent a whole weekend just sitting down talking about this whole thing, and we're listening to you, we're hearing you out, and we're trying to figure this thing out. Then later on today, WBD also said, we understand your complaints and hatred towards the other people who used to control DC. These are the guys, these fucking pieces of shit were gatekeeping it, okay?
Yeah.
These are the people who were like, hey, you want the Zack Snyder cut? No, we're not going to give it to you.
These are the people who were like, oh yeah, Suicide Squad, the first one, the one that wasn't done by James Gunn. Suicide Squad.
Just Suicide Squad.
We're gonna hand it off to this fucking company that has never edited a movie. They only edit trailers, and we're gonna ask them to edit the movie, because that makes sense.
And they were talking about this, and eventually it came around to about the Suicide Squad, or the first one, and having the air cut. And James Gunn actually spoke up, and he was like, hey, we're hearing about you, we want to see this, just give us time.
Okay.
So we might actually get a director's cut of the original Suicide Squad.
I think it'd be fun. I would love to see it. I do like it when director's cuts are actually different, drastically different. At the very least, I think we can guarantee we're gonna get another season of Peacemaker.
I don't think so.
Maybe more for Peacemaker. Maybe not a...
It makes me sad, but that might be a one-time thing.
Man, that was a good show. That's crazy that it was so early on this year. It was like January.
Yeah.
Wow. Bananas.
And it was better than House of Dragon.
Yes. It was. House of
It
Dragon.
involved so much less rape.
That's just
So much
up,
less murder.
up the alley for House of Dragon. There's a lot of murder in Peacemaker, too.
Yeah, but it was justified.
Mm-hmm.
And bald eagles hug people.
They do. Is it time for box office trolls?
Box office trolls.
Let's, as we scramble to get the tab with the box office numbers. Is it there? We go. I did it. You have like 4 up there.
Nice. Okay, number 1, Black Adam. Like I said.
Yep.
18 mil
3rd week in office. So.
for a total in North America at 137 million.
It'll start going down after this week, I'm sure.
Well, now they got to deal with Black Panther, right?
And One Piece Red.
One Piece Red coming in at number 2. 0 fucks given.
This is its first
But
week.
that's Luffy's way.
Hell yeah. It looks great. Like, I love the character designs. Even though Oda is very bad at designing female characters, I really love the colors and outfits he comes up with.
I'm excited to watch it. But I probably won't watch it for like 7 years.
Yeah.
Ticket to Paradise, number 3. Don't know what... Oh, that's that weird
Oh, that was the one with...
Pierce Brosnan.
Yeah. Was that Pierce Brosnan?
Pretty sure.
Hell yeah. It's the...
Smile is sticking at number 4.
Apparently it's doing great. People are watching it. Some people say it's like terrifying, and others are like, nah.
Number 5, Pray for the Devil. That's the one about the
Oh, with the nun.
the Christian nun
Yeah.
who decides she's gonna be a priest.
Yeah, she's gonna do exorcisms and stuff.
Number 6, Lilo Crocodile, because there's nothing else really for kids.
Not a single fucking thing.
Which again, if we just stop here, right, and we point out something like that, what are kids watching?
I was just gonna say,
Black Panther is going to bust it open.
absolutely.
It's gonna be phenomenal.
People don't make kids movies anymore. You know, they never do that anymore.
Number 7, Banshees of Inisherin.
I've never heard of this. Third week in.
This is the one with Slughorn and
Oh,
you know what I'm talking about?
yeah. Weird.
Colin Farrell.
Weird. Weird. It's like in Scotland or Ireland or something like that.
It should be in Ireland.
It's a beautiful green landscape. Could be New Zealand for all I know. I don't remember.
Till is number 8. Halloween Ends is number 9. Terrifier,
2.
honestly, falling a little bit behind, but I'm still amazed that Terrifier 2...
Yeah, for being like a weird indie movie years after.
And the first one did not have a actual theatrical release.
Mm-hmm.
So that's interesting.
Yeah. Interesting little top 10 we got going on there.
Okay. Me clicking was me thinking.
You ready?
Pokemon news!
We have a new Pokemon announced.
Do we?
Yeah, Gimmighoul. Gimmighoul?
Gimmighoul.
Gimmighoul. So I've been thinking about it. I don't like it. I don't like its design.
Which one?
Gimmighoul. Well, both of them. I don't like the design of the Pokemon itself. I'm fine with the idea of the mimic / gold coin thing. I don't like the way it looks, though. There's been this thing that's been happening over the years where these special Pokemon, like Manaphy, Victini, Meltan, these things, over the years, they're becoming slowly more and more man-made looking in their designs or alien. Something, and I prefer them when they look more like creatures. Like Mew looks like a cat.
It looks like a creature.
Meltan looks like, a blob of chewing gum and a bolt. And Gimmighoul, same way. I don't like the way it looks. I think it's not as expressive as I would want it to be.
So Gimmighoul has 2 forms. Mm-hmm. If you go to the official Pokemon website, Gimmighoul has a chess form, where it looks like a chess, where you can see the little tiny humanoid figure thing kind of hiding in it. Mm-hmm. He is Ghost type. He is the coin chess Pokemon, and he's 1 foot tall.
11 pounds.
11 pounds, and he has the ability of Rattle. So I looked up Rattle.
Yeah.
And it's...
Which one is it? I don't remember.
No, this is a new one.
What does it do?
This one's crazy. There's a lot of weird... Because Pokemon's getting a little too complex.
Oh, sometimes. What does it do?
If you want to use, like... Oh, I need to bail out because he's a ghost type. Mm-hmm. You can't.
Oh, so it's like he has Shadow Tag?
Almost. It doesn't affect you if you were able to pull out, but you have certain circumstances in which you can take away a Pokemon to bring into battle. It basically doesn't allow you to do any of that, and the only attack that actually will is Baton Pass.
Wow, really? Woof. Ugh. Well, it's gonna be this weird, goofy little legendary thing. I won't have to worry about it.
It has 2 forms. So there's the chess form, where it's inside a chest with all its gold.
Yep, you said that.
And then there's this weird alien-looking flat thing. How would you describe it?
People say it looks like the Reddit icon, the little robot dude from Reddit. And I agree. He has like these ear-like things. It looks more like an Ultra Beast than a Pokemon, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. I don't like it. I think he's a little dumb looking.
Well, it will connect into Pokemon Go next year.
Can't you?
So in Scarlet and Violet, you can get the chess form. Mm-hmm. And if you play Pokemon Go, you can get the roaming form. Yeah. Where it's just a little dude with a coin on his back.
Yeah. I think that already started. Like you can...
No, you can find it, but you can't keep it.
Mm. And, yeah, a weird one to announce right here, right before, because the game comes out next week. What?
So the game comes out next week. We'll talk about it more in depth next week.
Hell yeah.
Tomorrow, for those of you who are listening, is Wednesday. Mm-hmm. Right? You get your final last trailer.
Oh. I wonder what they'll announce.
And then on top of that, Pokemon Go Community Day will happen this weekend. We were talking about the moon and having the Hunter's Moon.
Yeah.
So they are going to do a community day with Teddy Ursa.
The new evolution from Hisuian region.
Yeah, but no, I'm talking about the baby.
Teddy Ursa, yeah.
Teddy Ursa will evolve, and then you can re-evolve it into its 3rd form from the Hisuian form of Pokemon Legends of Arceus.
Woo! Ursaluna, I think?
It is Ursaluna.
Yeah.
Which is funny, I can't remember the one in between.
The Ursaring.
And that's a problem.
I think that's coffee break, right?
That was coffee break.
That was a long one. I'm sorry I yawned so much in the middle there. I was sleepy.
I liked it.
It was a good episode. Thanks.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. I can't wait for next week. And I hope you will all join us again.
I know you guys will. I'm just self-confident. Just kidding.
Bye.
Enjoy your night. Goodbye.
Bye.